Well, hello! It's another edition of Wisdom Walk today, and today we are going to explore quantum leaping, also known as quantum jumping. What is it? How can it benefit us? And maybe a few tips and tools so that you can use it for yourself as well. Can't wait to dive right in and see what we can manifest. So I'm so excited to speak with you about quantum leaping. Quantum jumping is another way that you might have heard about this. And so first things first, what is it? Well, essentially it is the concept that we can go into other timelines, other dimensions where other versions of us exist, and we can pull insight, information, skills to be able to bring back into this timeline. So it's a really interesting concept. And I first started to gain an awareness about this when I first started to do Akashic record readings about a decade ago. I would be doing readings and I would see this person's soul going into these other dimensions and other frequencies, and they would be picking up things, or they would be fixing things over there, or they would be grabbing different tools. Now, tools not always in the tangible sense, but insights, concepts in how to acquire skills. And so, for example, there's a story out there about a man who was doing this quantum jumping, and he was able to go to another time and space, and he was able to learn how to play the piano. So he went into the quantum field, went to see himself as a pianist, as this special musician artist. He downloaded essentially all of that knowledge, and then he brought it back into this timeline, and he could play the piano. Now, these are some of the stories out there, of course, but I'm encouraging you to lean into what's possible here, because I got to tell you, the things that have manifested in my life since I started practicing this skill, probably about the last couple years more actively and consistently, has been off the charts. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to just lean in and see what's possible. Quantum jumping, quantum leaping is said to be the master of manifesting. In other words, it's one of the most profound ways that we can manifest the life that we desire. Isn't that so cool and fun? So, in addition to what is it, what are the benefits to it? Well, that we can manifest. But it also helps us activate our own knowing in who we are. It also helps us to be into deeper harmony and deeper alignment in our lives, which oftentimes brings about more peace internally. But then we also have the external benefit of being able to produce more tangible things like homes, jobs, relationships, all the things that we might desire in our life. So the list of benefits obviously can go on and on, but here's what I really want to get into. I want to give you a couple insights as to how you can start to lean into this technique, because it has done so much for me in terms of manifesting, and I have been able to access tons and tons of information that I wouldn't normally have access to. And I'll give you an example. Just this quantum leaping, I started to get downloads about this in the last couple of years, and I put together a program, which I haven't just released yet, but it's coming. And so I put together this workshop, and then what started to happen is I started to notice stuff popping up on my feed. And in particular, Mind Valley was popping up about this quantum jumping, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. This is kind of what I've been getting and what I've been downloading lately. I'm curious to see what it's all about. So I went in and I watched the little video, and basically they're teaching the exact same thing that I had put together in this document without me having any formal training. I was able to receive all of this information from the quantum field, from another lifetime in which I had this knowledge and taught this knowledge. Isn't that powerful? So it was wonderful validation for me, and validation shows up all the time. So one of the things that I want to share with you is to seek evidence that you're already manifesting. And that's one of the primary ways that I recommend that you start building trust in your own intuition and your own abilities to manifest. We are manifestors. All of us have the ability to do this. Oftentimes, we just don't see exactly what we're manifesting or how we're going to manifest it, and we get caught up in that. And I'll give you another example of how we can get caught up in this idea of manifesting needing to look a certain way, and then how we might miss that we've actually manifested what we needed. So the example I have is a few years back, quite a while ago, I had decided I wanted to pay off a vehicle. I had about $5,000 left in payments, and I thought, I'm going to pay off this vehicle. I even put it in my vision board that I would be payment free for this vehicle. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I kind of just left it open. And so lo and behold, guess what happens? Well, I get hit in the car. And so I got sideswiped. I was okay. It wasn't a big accident, but it was enough of an accident that it caused an insurance payout. Guess how much the payout was? It was the exact amount that I owed on that vehicle, right? So I didn't know how it was going to manifest. I just knew I wanted to manifest that. So to me, that was a little bit more of an unconscious manifestation. And the difference between that and what I'm talking about today is that we are creating more conscious manifestation so that we can attract the process and the experience that will be more fulfilling, will be more valuable for us. And so that is the difference between that unconscious manifesting that we might be doing versus this very conscious process of quantum leaping or quantum jumping. So what do we need to do in order to experience being able to go into these other timelines, the quantum field, and then pulling out what it is that we desire and bringing it back into this timeline? So there's a lot to it, but I want to just give you some foundational steps that can help you to start leaning into this. And one of the first things that you need to know is that this does involve your imagination. And you've probably heard me say it in other videos before, childlike curiosity is a wonderful asset for us to invoke in order for us to lean into our intuition and our abilities. So I just want to remind you of that childlike curiosity and invoking that imagination first and foremost. The other thing is this very simple acronym that I have come up with. And I love acronyms. They help me to retain information and remember, to keep things simple, because I think, again, we overcomplicate a lot. So here is the acronym. It's ACE, okay? So the A in ACE stands for activating your intuition. And so activating your intuition does involve invoking that imagination. Activating your intuition also requires you to be aware that you have it. We all have it. Activating the intuition means starting to build a relationship with that intuition. And so acknowledging it, asking more questions of that intuition, thanking that intuition. So there, the A in ACE, the activation, within that there are multiple components. But the point being is that you're going to have an increased awareness that your intuition is alive and well, and starting to pay attention to that and starting to have gratitude for that will help to activate that intuition even more. Okay, makes sense. So A in ACE is activate intuition. Okay, the C in ACE stands for clear and cleanse. And what I mean by this is that most people get really stuck in the manifestation process because they've got old limiting blocks, they've got old root causes that are holding them hostage in some way. And so the clearing and the cleansing process is actually something that's really, really important that we forget to do, because as we remove the muck, we open up the channel and the pathway for deeper intuition, but for a deeper connection with all that is divine. Yes? So the C in ACE is clear and cleanse. And that could be done through a number of techniques, many of which I've talked about before, but something as simple as dusting your field and setting that intention that I send away all non-serving energy, all limited beliefs that are holding me back at this time, whatever that intention might be for you. So clear and cleanse. The E is all about elevating your resonance. All right, elevating your resonance. And so the resonance is our vibration. It is our ability to match the frequency of that which we desire. And I'll give you an example. I have wanted to go to the Mediterranean for a really long time. It's been on my bucket list. And about 20, well, I'll say about 20, or in my early 20s, I had envisioned going on this cruise in the Mediterranean, and I thought that would be just so amazing. And I kind of let that dream subside as other dreams came to the surface for me. And I have started to visualize going on this boat trip and seeing myself on the islands. And I was bringing myself into a timeline where I had lived on these beautiful islands and on these beautiful lands in the Mediterranean. And so I started to actively go to the Mediterranean. And in my mind, I thought, well, I'm going to earn the funds, I'm going to earn the money in order to take myself on this beautiful trip to the Mediterranean. I didn't know how I was going to manifest the money, but I just knew that as I leaned in, I could feel myself already being there. I could feel myself already looking at the ocean. I was allowing myself to be fully engaged in this thought that I was already there. I was already in the Mediterranean. And something really powerful showed up for me. I was offered, believe this or not, I was offered a free trip to the Mediterranean. And so next year, I'm going on a trip to the Mediterranean, and I'm not spending any of my own money to do it. Can you believe it? That's how it showed up for me. And it was actually that easy. So there is power in this. And I'm not going to promise you that, oh, like you do it once and you allow yourself to be in that vibrational resonance, that it's already happened and it will manifest. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes we miss some of the blocks. Sometimes there is the divine time of things. And so your job is to trust and to know that whatever it is that you desire, that you really want in your life, to know and trust that it's already in the works, that it's already happening, that it's already taking place. And when we can allow ourselves to be in that resonance, that what we desire already exists, to allow ourselves to feel it, to breathe it, to embody it, which by the way is oftentimes missed in the manifestation process, then all of a sudden we achieve whatever that is external of us. The key is that we've got to own it. We've got to allow it to be within us first. You know, when I talk about creating heaven on earth, you must create it inside of yourself first in order for it to be reflected back in the world. And so that's part of that E in elevating the resonance. It's about allowing yourself to be in that space, to trust and to know and to embody that experience as though it's already taking place. So then what happens is we meet that vibrational frequency, and everything that we desire comes to fruition. So there's the quick protocol, the formula ACE, right? We're going to activate that intuition. We're going to clear and we're going to cleanse all the yuck and the gunk. And then we are going to continue to elevate our resonance. So what it's coming down to is embodying that which we desire and allowing ourselves to trust and to know that it exists somewhere in some timeline, and we can bring that into this field. So the actual process, really quickly to wrap things up, is to allow yourself to go into a deep state of meditation, so doing a bit of breath work, and then allowing yourself and asking to be shifted into these other timelines. And that does require your imagination, and there is more to that process than what I'm sharing here with you. But if you start to lean into it and you practice that ACE formula, then you will find yourself being able to lean in to this beautiful process of quantum leaping. And of course, if you're craving more and you want to learn how to do the entire process the way that I've been doing it and manifesting for myself, then watch out, because the class is going to be launching fairly soon, and it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to increase manifestation in your life as well. Thank you so much for following, for listening. I love being with all of you and sharing what is coming into my field and into my heart. So I really appreciate you holding the space for me to do this. Please continue to follow. Check out the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and be sure to follow wherever you might find me. Bye for now.